emotions behave.
Yeah.
So when you're wondering what this should feel like, it should feel like what we're doing right now. Okay? So this concept of making something happen, that's your problem. Instead of thinking about, okay, I'm in the scene and I gotta make it something, what you really need to focus on instead is, I gotta be in the scene and just receive and not improve the moment. So however I am in the moment is how I am. If I'm in the scene, I was just talking to Ricky about this last night, about an audition that I just had 2 days ago, that, you know, I was in the scene, and right before I did the scene, I don't know, I was nervous or something. And I had to put those nerves in the character, because that's how I was feeling. I can't remove it. I mean, that's how I am. Because if I try to make it different, it's fake. And they pick up on that. So if you're in the scene, and you're not feeling amped, what do?
You can't make it amped.
You can't make it amped. So you're gonna always be better off delivering it not amped. Because at least you're abiding by truth. And the audience can connect to honesty. They cannot connect to a made thing. They can't connect to an indication of what you think it should be. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking to Amrit, you've got to use him to induce you to speak. You don't just do your bit. So like, what are your first lines?
What did I do?
So,
Made a terrible mistake.
So like that right there was 1,000% better than what you did in the scene. Just that one moment. And it felt like you probably were like, this can't be right. I didn't even do anything. Now, for somebody who's trying to break this habit, that is a common thing. I went through it. But you're gonna feel this. I'm just telling you, and you're probably gonna think, Brad doesn't know what he's talking about. But you need to know that when you're doing this right, your audience, they connect. They're in it with you. They don't have to work hard to pay attention. It's just, we're in it. It's like watching people anywhere and just observing people. You're just in it because you connect. But if you perform it, they can't do that. So, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to solve this issue?
Other than saying just like cut forcing it.
Okay, so let's just say, cut forcing it, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you're not going to give in to the compulsion to make it better or make it anything to reassure yourself you're on the right track. So you're going to have to be willing to fail. You're going to have to be willing to accept the fact that if you do it without making it anything, that it may not be enough. And you will be better off.
Okay.
So you're going to be at a fork in the road in a scene. You're going to go left or right, okay? Let's just look at it this way. Both ways suck, okay? Both ways are going to be painful. At least the way I'm suggesting, there's some hope. Does that help?